Am I on? Wait, I don't know. I have to refresh. Refresh. Okay. Okay. Hey guys. Hello everybody. I am still scared of my own shadow, but God, it's really hard to breathe in this thing. Hold on. Jesus. Come on. Well, that was a mistake. God. Okay, hold on. Feeling a little naked there. Okay. Okay. Let me start over. Hello, everybody. So a user asked, his name is Christopher. He asked me what my favorite dinosaur was. Barney is the obvious answer to that question, but I don't have a Barney costume. So, that's the best I got. And it's Halloween, so, you know, I had to come up with something here. Okay, before I get into your questions, I need a moment to chill and just catch my breath. So if I could just... Okay, I'm seeing the chat right now. Why the long face? That was not helpful for my anxiety. You cannot breathe in this latex material. It's impossible. Won't be doing that again. Okay. Can someone make me laugh? Because laughter is both healing and disarming. And so let me ask you a question. Tell me what you are feeling at this moment using only emojis. I will wait. This is a great opportunity for me to drink my tea. I already feel like I'm losing my voice here. Everybody fart at once. What's up, Anna? Everybody fart at once. Yes, please. Everybody, can you just collectively fart? I won't hear it, but I will feel it, and it will calm me down. So I would appreciate that. And also, if I could just make one final request, please, nobody tell me how many people are coming into this chat. I don't really want to know. I don't want to know. Emojis, okay. We've got some sad emojis, some indifferent emojis. Some of these can be interpreted in a number of different ways. Hearts, love the hearts. Party and toots, okay. Aliens, yes, okay, relatable. A dolphin. Mark, now what do you mean by that? I don't know the significance of the dolphin. Goofy faces, music, happy faces. Cats hiding in boxes. That one speaks to me. Is that a pizza? It's just you, me, Finny, and Frey. Yes, nobody else in this room, just us. Just us. We're having an intimate conversation. We're getting to know each other. Oh, somebody's giving me some snoozing, tired emojis. Would that be your impression of my face right now, or your enjoyment of this content? I will need a little bit of clarification on that. Amy, there is a band. Oh, Classics Lover, I'm getting to some of your questions today. Amy, there is a band named Kansas, and there is a band named Toto. Why is there no band named Dorothy? As somebody that lives in Kansas, I would like to direct you to the short that I made that incorporates all Wizard of Oz elements, and I I don't know why there's not a band called Dorothy. Should I start one? Maybe I will. Is this that famous editing ASMR I've heard the youngsters talking? Are you getting ASMR from this? Because that is such a compliment. I love ASMR. I don't feel very relaxed right now, but I could whisper and I could try that. Is there Uber in Kansas? Probably. I haven't taken one, but probably. What is Kansas like? You know, everybody thinks the flyover state just has nothing going on. But you know what? We have a super Walmart open 24 hours. So, and we've got beautiful scenery, lots of farming. I mean, it's not. I mean, when people think of Kansas, they think it's just cows and tornadoes. And yes, there is some of that. And tornadoes are absolutely terrifying. But it's not really that much different from a lot of small towns, you know? It's not as cool to say that, like, you're from Kansas as opposed to saying you're from Seattle, which is where I was from before I moved to Kansas. Seattle is very pretty. But Kansas has its charm. It does. Okay, so I know I am getting distracted. Let's get into some of your questions. Is that cool? You guys are a funny bunch. So you don't sit outside to watch tornadoes? Absolutely not. I've seen the green sky. I hear the sirens. That is like the Pavlov response in my brain, like get downstairs to safety. And no matter how much I prepare, that experience is very scary. Although fortunately we haven't had anything that's warranted, you know. I've been through a tornado before, and it wasn't even in Kansas. It was in Texas. Was it Texas or New Mexico? I can't remember. But I do remember my dad taking all of us into the bathroom and throwing a mattress over us. So, anxiety levels up there. Our trampoline ended up like 2 blocks away. That was kind of scary. Okay. Derek Wright asks, in your last job with Legal Eagle, what was the part you enjoyed the most and or look forward to? And what thing did you like the least or dread to have to do? And same questions for your current channel. Love your work. Cheers. Thank you, Derek. The part I loved the most was probably cutting together episodes where Devin was particularly tickled by something really funny. And so that's a lot more fun editing because you have the added expressiveness and, you know, he's just in his element when he's feeling it. So that's fun for me as an editor. If you're a fan of the channel, you're probably familiar with Real Lawyer Reacts and Laws Broken. Laws Broken, in terms of content, was the most time consuming, but the most fun. I really loved creating the motion graphics package for that. And actually, before I left, I had wrapped up an episode of Squid Game, which has not been released, and I don't know if it will at some point, or if it's if he's going to reshoot it. That was never released, so I was very proud of that episode, though. So I hope eventually he will release it. What did I like the least? Hold on, let me take a sip here. Let me take a sip and just look at the chat right now. What is the most frustrating part of editing for you? Killing my babies. It's hard every time. It really is. You work so hard on something, you think, this is perfect, but it doesn't fit. It doesn't add anything. And so, bye-bye. I've lost a lot of that. It's just part of the job, part of the gig. Okay, what did I like the least? You know, we were a much smaller crew for the first couple years that I was with Devin. And when the team started to expand, my role also expanded quite a bit. I went from lead editor, getting all the fun assignments, to basically being a supervisor. And I found that to be a difficult transition. You know, you got more cooks in the kitchen. Your job is basically making sure that things are running smoothly, and you're delegating tasks to people, and you're fielding a lot of questions about creative decisions. And you know, it represented a major promotion for me, but with that came a lot more responsibility, and also having to say no a lot. And as someone who hates to say no, that was a struggle for me. I mean, I don't like to let people down. And even in a professional capacity with colleagues that I respect, the people-pleasing side of me really struggled with having to be the bad guy, for lack of a better word. I'm always just like, how can we all win here? And in some scenarios, that is just not on the table. So that was probably the least favorite part. Okay, let me switch back here. What's going on? Oh my goodness, I'm missing stuff. Ooh. Oh God, there's so much here. Okay, I'm gonna stick with the questions that I got, because I already sort of have prepared answers for some of these. Oh, I didn't even finish the rest of your question, Derek. Sorry. Current channel. Favorite thing about the current channel is connecting with you people. Reading really sweet comments from someone going through a tough time, who, you know, just it put a smile on their face to see flowers shoot out of my neck. I mean, you know, that's people that have felt inspired by my story and my work. That's really energizing for me, and it gives me the motivation to keep going. And of course, it goes without saying, I love to edit, so that's a big part of it. Least favorite part, I really don't enjoy filming. I am an introvert through and through. And when it's time to, you know, bring out the jazz hands, it really, I have to dig deep to get into the mood and to get the energy. And it's fun once I get started. Once I get started, it's fine. But it's like setting up the camera, making sure my batteries are charged, making sure my batteries are charged. Oh, I just heard a ding. Hold on. Okay, hang on. Oh, I missed it. Okay. Is it show? Oh, I missed it on the screen too. Was that somebody subscribing? Thank you so much, whoever you are. Thank you. Yeah, so the physical act of having to paint my face with pretty colors so it looks like I have seen the sun today. It's just physically tiring for me, and it's a lot of talking, and one annoying habit that I have is I clear my throat a lot. I think my vocal cords just get tired really quickly, and I'm not used to talking so much. So, first world problem and all of that, but it's physically kind of exhausting for me to do. It is ultimately fun, though, especially when I get into the editing, because I can start to craft like everything together, and that's fun. All right, classics lover, you are up. You do dress Canadian, so I anticipate no problems for you. Your live stream crossing the border. Questions. Okay. Hang on a sec. I heard a beep. There's a little bit of a lag here. Apologies. The old man, the boat. Thank you so much for your super chat. Appreciate it. Okay. Can editing footage make me look cuter? Cute-er. Yes, everybody can look cute with a couple clicks. Do you ever get motion sickness from fast forwarding? Not from fast forwarding, but everything else. Yes. This meme, is it you're waiting for it to upload dance? I don't know what that meme is, but this is what the actual dance looks like. Are you ready? Okay, this is the actual dance. That for hours, because I've discovered, I don't know, it might just be a mind trick, but like, I think if you watch it, it actually moves a little bit faster. Okay. Morgan, thank you for the super chat. Derek Wright, thank you so much. Did I miss anything else? Okay. Okay. Weirdest thing you have been asked to edit. So back in like 2011, I had a client that requested a funny slideshow for her cats. Not of her cats, for her cats. And she made me an offer I couldn't refuse, but that was a little odd. Have you refused an editing job? Yes, many, especially in the past few weeks. When you are rich and famous with many awards, will you still reply to comments from us little people? If I am fortunate to have that level of success, much of that belongs to my support system, my partner, my family, my friends, my audience, you guys. So, of course I will, because I'll know who lifted me up and made that possible. But it's a little early to take that victory lap, you know. But you know, I too am a little person, so it's just like I'm replying to my people. Break. How we doing? Who even likes the sun? Am I right, chat? I mean, I like the sun. It's just, I mean, I can see it pouring through my windows. What do I need to actually be out there for unless I'm gardening? I do enjoy gardening. Okay. Damn, reminds me of waiting for stuff to render back in high school. Oh man, yeah, that hasn't changed for me. I actually try to find just distractions to pull myself away from the screen, because if I'm just sitting there staring too long, it's like, what are you really accomplishing? You just want to make sure there's nothing weird happening, because if something weird is happening, then you need to start over. So sometimes it's just a way to make sure everything is running smoothly. But I do also believe that through the power of my mind, I can speed things up. Michael Panzarella, thank you so much for your super chat. Pineapples Foster, am I the only one who's new to live streams and keeps wanting to back up to catch something I missed? I'm the same way. I'm going to have to back up and catch a lot of this too, because I feel like this is a lot to take in. Ignajara, I don't know what currency that is, but thank you very much. Have you ever suffered from a creative block as an editor? What is your best advice against it? Keep up the content. The best advice for that, I think, is taking a break, pulling yourself away. Sometimes you just need a break to like reset. And often what I'll do, if I just feel like I've hit a slump or a wall that I just can't get past, I will just put it all away. I'll do something else. I'll maybe get outside in the sun. I'll do something I do very often, which is watch really long police interrogations on YouTube. I'm just fascinated by true crime stuff. But it's a way to reset your brain, and sometimes you'll come back to it with fresh eyes. So an idea that you didn't have previously, maybe you have a solution for, or just like, going to bed and waking up the next morning. You'd be surprised. You get so close when you're in the process of creating something that you lose sight of what you're trying to do, and you start to focus on the wrong things instead of, is it moving the story along? Is it making me feel something? As I discussed in the previous video. So it helps to get perspective, and sometimes just stepping away is that thing that helps a lot. Oh my God, you watch police interrogations? Yes, I do. Yes. Police interrogations, forensic files, 60 Days In, all the prison shows on Netflix I've binged. I'm just fascinated with that particular genre. I don't know why. I think part of it is the psychology element to it. I'm very curious about what it is that makes people do such awful things. It's just a subject of fascination for me. Okay, so moving on. Positivity Gives Purpose asks, what are the 3 things that you would recommend to someone who wanted to get started in filmmaking and editing? Number 1, just start. Start wherever you're at with whatever resources you have available to you, and give yourself permission to play and experiment, because that's how you get better at anything. It's really just about digging deep and finding the courage to suck. Because the more you do it, the less you'll suck. But you got to start somewhere. So starting is number 1. Number 2 would be study. And I don't necessarily mean like read a book about this stuff, but find films or music videos or content that inspires you, and then reverse engineer it. Break it down into the basic building blocks. And often what I used to do, and what I still do, is I will scrub through a video frame by frame especially with motion graphics, because often there can be so much going on. Sorry, I got distracted by the little bling. Frame by frame, and just play it over and over again, and really study what they're doing, because then you can use that as the basis for your practice, for your projects. I find, I've never taken an editing course. I'm mostly self-taught, and I've found that that's been very, very instructive for me, to just see what people that are way better at this, what are they doing? Study that. Number 3 probably goes without saying, but practice, because with more repetition, some things just start to click. You get some light bulb moments the longer that you do this, and when you know better, you can do better. So that would be my answer to that question. Let me check what's going on in the chat. Here's the thing about sucking. Skip Ad Trotter says, here's the thing about sucking. Everybody sucks. All you can do is try to suck less. If you're doing that, you're winning. 100% yes. Totally agree. Do you use DaVinci Resolve? I do not, and I've seen a lot of comments about that. I'm ashamed to say I am not very familiar with the program, but it sounds like it might be like a free program for just getting started. And if it's free, go for it. I mean, I assume it still offers a lot of the same functionality that you would get with other programs like Adobe Premiere. My only experience beyond Adobe Premiere has been, I think I used Final Cut Pro for a little bit. And I kind of did a little bit with Sony Vegas at one point. But I have to say, as much as I don't like the subscription-based model, I do use a lot of Adobe products. And Adobe Premiere, there was a time when you could just pay for the program outright. And it wasn't cheap, but like you bought it and it was yours. And then they changed to the subscription model. So now we get the luxury of paying every month for the privilege of using their software. And but if you're starting out and you can afford it, I think it's, something like $20 a month. And if you're going to be using it a lot, I think that's a really great investment. Okay, throat is a little bit dry again. Okay. Oh, okay. What was the worst experience you have had working for someone who hired you to do a project? What would you have done differently? So I was hired to produce a 1-hour weekly segment for public access television. This was probably like over a decade ago at this point. And the client was very charismatic, looked like a respectable businessman on paper and in person. Totally screwed me. I spent my 24th birthday crying because I was trying to meet a deadline for somebody that I eventually had to take to small claims court to get paid. A lot of lessons from that experience, and I think it was kind of made worse by the fact that he was very active in charity work and he was very respected in the community. And so I look back on that, and it's a little bit scary to think that that dude was 100%, in my opinion, just a sociopath. Like he a wolf in sheep's clothing, and I think I think I was the only one that eventually got paid for that, but I had to take him to court for it, and that was a very stressful experience. So what I would have done differently in hindsight would have been to have had a contract in place outlining the terms of our agreement, and I wouldn't have done anything without some sort of advance up front, because, you know, we can't pay our bills on good faith, especially with people like that. So a very hard lesson to learn, but I learned it. Was that my stomach? I think my stomach just growled. Okay, what's going on here? Coding industry is the same way. Interesting. Gotta head out, but hope the rest of the stream. Okay, thank you, Sean. Thanks for being here. Oh, hey, Ken. I've used the free version of PhotoStage to make some slideshows. Turned out good. Not familiar with PhotoStage, but if that works for you, that's great. My dad has to go to small claims court because the guy who was supposed to renovate our wall stole $20K from us. Damn. Was that, that's interesting, because for my small claims, I think there was a certain limit that you could sue for, and it was much less than $20K. That sucks. I feel you on that. I mean, it checks out. Sounds like something a narcissist would do. 100%. Totally right. Congrats for the article. Thank you so much. I was not expecting that at all. I was familiar with the channel that's behind the Publish Press, and I thought the writer Hannah Doyle, she did an awesome job on it. I mean, I'm so used to I'm sort of used to the expectation that people are going to spell my name wrong, and she got it right. So props to Hannah. Okay, how are we feeling so far? I've got more questions here. How long have we been going? Can I tell? Who is your favorite true crime content creator? I really liked JCS, the guy that does a really deep dive, goes into the police interrogations and gives you some tips on the strategy of the interrogators. I love that channel, although I believe it's been demonetized now. But there's been a lot of channels that have popped up with that formula, and so I've discovered some of those too. And I like to listen to them when I edit. Classics Lover, thank you for the super chat. How is the marinating going regarding principles of editing a fight? Well, how does it differ when the actor can't fight? Will you sword fight with yourself? How does it differ when the actor can't fight? Did you see the last video? I can't do that. I can't fight, but I thought it would be an interesting experiment since it would just be me. So I would have to kind of clone myself and get the continuity right so that, like, when I'm swinging the sword, my other self is swinging back. That would be an interesting challenge to approach. Also probably funny. I don't know. I have marinated on it. I've got it on the list. I've got a lot of stuff on the list right now, but I think that would be a fun. Maybe that could be a short or something. 100 people. Wow. What? Why are you telling me that? There are 10 people in this chat, and I love every one of you. And if more come in, that number doesn't change. Just 10 people. 10 people, okay? Okay. Okay. So I had a question from Alex Arian. Oh God, I'm going to screw this up. Alex Erlenbach. What are some collaborations you're hoping to have with other YouTubers, creators? I don't know if you guys are familiar with Lisa Nova. Her real name is Lisa Donovan, and in the early years of YouTube, she was one of the first discoveries that I made on this platform. She's so funny and so clever, and probably not available anymore because, I mean, she co-founded Maker Studios and then that was sold to Walt Disney, I believe, a few years ago to the amount of like $650 million. And she continues to excel in the business side of things. So I don't think she has any plans to be in front of a camera again. But Amy from 2005, 2006 would have loved to collaborate with Lisa Nova. I love her. I also really love David Lear. He was an early influence for me, and he was the visionary behind the viral video, MySpace the Movie, showing my age here. But I recently left him a comment, and he never responded. So he's either too busy or it's just not a good fit, but I respect his work anyway, and he's been a huge influence on my style. So I'm open to collaborations with all kinds of content creators. And I think in the edutainment sphere, that space, there are so many opportunities to work with people. I think as we go along, I definitely need to reach out and connect with those people, because it not only it gives you exposure to a wider audience, but like you can help them out, they can help you out. It is a very synergistic, I don't like to use the word synergy, but a synergistic relationship that I would love to cultivate. So if you guys have suggestions for that, let me know. Okay, let me see here. Math is hard. Agreed. Hiya, I just dropping in to say I love the content you put out. Found you through the Legal Eagle video, of course, but your personality and humor made me a quick fan. Have a great day. Thank you so much, Toeman89. Great username. Let's cancel him for ignoring you. No, let's not. We are not canceling anybody here. He's probably like me. He saw it and he was like, "Oh, that's sweet," and then he just got busy. So I'm not taking it personally. How many pieces of awkward clothing do you have? All of them. I'm trying to be more branded now, because I do think merch will be a thing in the future. So I'm not wearing just anything. I am very purposely wearing the awkward shirt, the hat, the colorful shoes. I don't know what you call these. Footies? I don't know. Crocheted, of course. I love crochet. If you haven't seen my crochet video and you really want to understand my obsession with knots, repetitive knots, you should check that video out. Okay, Yellow Ladybug asks, if you found a genie, what would be your 3 wishes? That's a great question. Number 1, one more day with this guy. The cutest, most precious dachshund ever, who left very unexpectedly and under circumstances that are too traumatic to go into today. But it's funny that your username is Yellow Ladybug, because Frank was a ginger, and I think he visits a lot in the form of a ladybug. Every time I see a ladybug, I feel like it's a little hello from beyond. I miss him a lot. Second wish, continued health and happiness of everybody that I love. I think these are just obvious things. Third wish would be a wish for unlimited wishes. Is that allowed? You didn't specify. So I'm going to say that's allowed. Okay. Must have been the bug behind you. Oh, was there a bug behind? Was it a ladybug? Was there really? Is it still there? Aw, he's just showing up. He's making his debut. That's so funny. Oh, now I'm gonna have to rewind this later. Okay, Pineapple Foster Media Services. Anna asks, what about this experience as a suddenly popular YouTuber, any aspect from the creation process through to general reception has either taken you completely by surprise or just turned out very differently than you expected? I think what I initially expected was to come out of my shell a little bit and entertain, but with the purpose of promoting a product, which was my motion graphics templates. What it's become is an opportunity to help people, to inspire others to pursue their own passions, and I guess in some way to be of service. I think I'm getting the most joy out of just feeling like I'm helping, which I didn't expect. And I was not anticipating such a warm reception. I was also not expecting so many neurodivergent people relating to me on such a personal level. So whatever I was expecting, I think what I got was something way more rewarding and purposeful. Okay, so those were all of the questions that I had time to write down and think about. I know there were others, though. Are we all having a good time? This would be a good question to ask that. Because I could go into some more questions if people got the time. Today I found out my mom had 3 months left maximum, and I came here to try to forget about it and enjoy. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to hear that. And I'm happy this could be a distraction for you. Thank you for being here. Okay. Classics Lover. Classics Lover coming through today. Compliments on your ability to distract me from work. Now a smile for you. Did Adam of Adam and Eve fame have a belly button? Wait a minute. Did he? Because I'm going to say no. I'm going to say he didn't have one. If you're just asking me on the spot right now, I'm going to guess Adam did not have a belly button. Okay. Thank you so much for the super chat. Do you suppose that the word awkward comes from the great auk? Is a species of flightless alkid that became extinct in the mid-19th century. Never considered that, but maybe I was just attributing it to my general disposition, my awkwardness, as I define it, is exactly what you're seeing right now. Yes, your voice sounds nice and calming. Oh, wait, I should read this in the calming voice. Yes, your voice sounds nice and calming. Have you got an agent? Voice acting might be a thing. I do not have an agent. But if you like the calming stuff, I can do more of that. I can find a way to incorporate that. If Adam did have a belly button and he was created in the image of God, does that mean God has a belly button? You guys are asking such deep philosophical questions that I don't have answers for. Does God have a belly button? I'm going to say no. God doesn't need a belly button. Okay, so I know that on my community post there were other questions. I just grabbed what I could grab based on the votes or whatever just grabbed my attention. Let me see if I can go back and find some other ones. How long did it take you? This is from Othmain. I'm sorry, guys. I'm butchering all these names. DeGay Othmain DeGay. How long did it take you to learn how to edit your videos the way you do? I would say many years would be my first response, but really, I'm still learning. It surprises me. I'm still learning. There's still things that I can improve upon. The learning doesn't really stop. I mean, you get into a comfortable pattern of how you typically do things, but if you're growing as an artist, you should be trying to get better at what you do. And so it's helpful to see what, people that are incredible at it, seeing what they do and seeing how I can incorporate the soul of their idea and make it my own. So I guess to that question, it's like I'm still learning. But I would say to get to a place where I felt comfortable applying for freelance jobs, it probably took me a couple years, maybe 2 to 3 years. And I will say that your experience might be very different. I have a tendency when I'm starting something, like I don't go full in. I dip my feet in a little bit, just a little bit, and then I back off, and then I come back to it, and then I back off. So over time, I develop, a full range of skills from that. But if you could speed up the process and you had the motivation and the patience to do so, you can get up to speed pretty quickly, especially with all of the instructional courses that are available online today. And I will be making my own. Just want to put that out there if anybody's curious. There's just a wealth of information out there. So you're not starting from scratch in a way. If you were just starting right now, you've got a lot of resources available to you that can speed that up. My lips feel dry. What's going on in chat? Hey, what's a good place to email for business inquiries? awkwardanthems@gmail.com. Thank you for the question, Tezzy TV. Are there significant differences between editing YouTube videos and full-length films? Yes. The difference between an episode, like a 20-minute episode on YouTube, as opposed to a full-length film, is just the time commitment. Films, often it's months, sometimes years, depending on how ambitious you are. And so you have to be very interested in one thing for a really long time with features. And I discovered I did direct a feature film early in my 20s, and I thought that's where I was headed. I was so attracted to the idea, the glamour of Hollywood, and something about the thought of doing, being a feature film director was very appealing to me. And then I directed a feature film, and I realized I'm just not I'm not really a people person. As I've stated before, I'm very socially anxious. I like to tell stories in the dark. I like to tell stories in a dark room with myself and just my thoughts, without a bunch of noise in my ear, because that's just the best way that I work. And I also like the ability to wrap something up and move on pretty quickly. And with a feature film, it's not so quick. So if you're doing a full-length film, you really have to be 100% on board for a long time. I mean, God, talk to James Cameron, who's just now releasing a sequel to Avatar. I remember seeing the first Avatar back in 2010. This guy's been working on this series, and in my opinion, waited way too long to release the next one. But he's very ambitious in what he does, and obviously has the patience to stay with it for a long time. I don't have that kind of patience. Classics Lover, you were very active today, Classics Lover. Amy, you can call me Darwin for short. Did you edit on VHS as a kid? I did in camera, because that was the only way to do it. Oh, and speaking of little Amy, been getting a lot of questions about an update on The Man with the Butt Crack. So I think I might release a short on Wednesday with an update, because so many people have asked. And I have to just preface this and say that you might be a little bit disappointed, because the place where I just chopped that off, there was really not much going on after I said that sentence. I think I transitioned to talking about my brother's BO or something. But people are asking, so that maybe that'll be a funny thing I can post on Wednesday. Don't forget to hydrate yourself. Thank you, Deometh. Am I saying that right? You're right. It's getting a little cool, actually, but I think I'm gonna be wrapping this up pretty soon, because we're coming up on almost an hour here. Apologies if this has already been asked, but what's the story of the Beanie? Coming from a fellow hat nerd. Hello, fellow hat nerd. Story of the Beanie. I just love to crochet. Although I have been educated recently that I am possibly not using the right tools for this, but I love to crochet. And I made this hat not thinking it would be such a thing. But I'm really cold a lot of the time, so I just like having my head covered, and I just like the way it frames my face, you know. All right. Talking about the old man, the boat, talking about philosophical questions, is there a temperature difference between warm beer and cold tea? I can't tell you, because I don't like beer. Warm or cold. It all just kind of tastes the same to me, and my stomach doesn't really agree with it. So I don't have a question or an answer to that question. What else we got? There goes my stomach again. Hermione skater. Okay, it is Hermione, right? I'm getting that right. The Emma Watson comparisons are hilarious. I'm so flattered by that. I don't see it, but I love it. Indy, Hermione. Okay, let me scroll up here. Oh, what am I doing? People have submitted questions under my community post. Let me see if I can find one here. Corey Lehman Enterprises asks, are you inspired by Bill Wirtz? I don't know who that is. I might have to look him up. Girl looking like she's on a Disney Channel intro. A dream come true. A dream come true. Jan T, no muggles, right? This is an all-inclusive place. Muggles are welcomed, but wizards are the coolest. Why do Canadians wear beanies while inside a building? Better question. Why do people think I'm Canadian? Is it the hat? Are Canadians cold a lot? What happened? Something happened. I'm waiting. Does it show? Cliff Roberts donated $8 through Super Chat. Hey, Amy, I just wanted to know. Oh, no, it disappeared. How do I see this? Let me go back. Where did it go? Oh, what? Nope. Whew, okay. 8. Hey, Amy, just wanted you to know that your move from Legal Eagle and your announcement video came on a day when I was wanting to give up my channel. Aw, thank you so much. Well, Cliff, I hope that you don't. Just keep going and trust your instincts. You know, I really got a big boost from Devin, and I was very grateful that I was just in a position that I knew somebody to help me there. And I know that's not the case for a lot of content creators, but if you really believe in what you're doing, don't stop, because if you like it, there are people out there that will like it too and will appreciate it. So keep going. And thank you for the super chat. The Shoddy 22, a serious question. Have you tried the Ghost Pepper BK burger? No, I don't enjoy pain. But if I did, I might. Yeah, not a masochist in that way. Mild salsa is probably the as far as I can go there. Okay. Okay. Okay, is it spelled, oh God. Is it spelled toque? Torque? Is that the name of what this is? Because I was just calling it a hat. That's a toque. Toque sounds like a different thing. Okay. I usually don't really care how people pronounce my pseudonym. I usually say it similarly, but with an F sound at the end. With an F sound? Diometh. But in French, I pronounce the A like an apple and a hard T at the end. Diometh. Okay, I'm gonna forget that, sorry. Do you smoke weed? No comment. Gosh, guys, I thought you were rocking the Sarah Silverman vibe. I like Sarah Silverman. I'm running out of things to say. Would you like me to put the the horse head back on? Because I can do that very easily. It is a little bit hard to breathe, though. But I can hold my breath. How's this? Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. I did a whole dance video with this mask. I did. That was quite the challenge. Ugh. Not a fan of that smell, though. Not a fan of that smell. I left a question on a super chat. Maybe you missed it. Oh, let me go back. How do I do that? Let me go back. Oh, top 3 mistakes that annoy you the most on YouTube videos. Top 3 mistakes. I think I went into this a little bit in my last video. I wouldn't say they're necessarily mistakes. They're just different preferences. There is kind of a formula that I've noticed with bigger YouTubers in terms of their music selection, their lighting. People love purple lighting. Purple lighting is like a big thing. Sometimes the stuff that looks almost too polished, it has kind of the effect of, it's not as engaging to me. It's too, what am I trying to say here? It's a little cookie cutter when a lot of people are doing the same thing. And I think as a content creator, it's important to implement some of these strategies, but it's way more important to make them your own and make them part of your personal brand, whatever that is. So if you're just somebody with a nice mic and a nice desk setup and nice lighting, of which I don't really have the best lighting, but this, I think it's better than the last stream. There's just patterns that you pick up when you watch a lot of this stuff. And maybe it's not noticed by most people. Maybe it's just noticed by me because as somebody that, you know, had the job of editing for YouTube, I didn't really want anything to look like what everybody else was doing. I think you should always strive to imbue your own personality into everything that you do, because it just makes it more interesting for the viewer. I'm not a big fan, okay, and I know this is just maybe my generation, my age, but the zooming in, zooming out, you know, it's the kind of content that is catered more towards a younger crowd. I think has the effect, it's sort of like, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, but it can often be lacking in substance. So I think there should be a balance between style and substance. I hope that answers your question. Oh my God. We almost lost the iPad. Okay, let me scroll back here. Okay, Amy, when you run out of things to say, sing. I would like to sing more. I'm a little shy, but I actually I bought this course a long time ago from this woman. Her name's Felicia Ricci, and she's on YouTube. She's got her own singing transformation class that I have been slowly working my way through for years now, because like I said, I don't jump in and go from start to finish. I'll jump in and learn a little bit, grab a little nugget here, a nugget here, and hopefully try to implement what I'm learning. And the interesting thing about singing, like really good singers are very good at releasing tension. And I'm all tension. So this is a difficult skill for me to learn, but I'm hoping to get better at it. And when I do, maybe I will take the leap of faith and showcase more of that. So yeah. All right, we are coming up on, oh my goodness, I think it's been over an hour at this point. Oh, Jason Ford, thank you very much for the super chat. Thank you. Does duration of videos matter? I have been working with someone making technical videos, and sometimes they run 30 plus minutes. Here's the interesting thing about YouTube. There seems to be a direction in not only the influx of shorts, but also the influx of longer form content. And when I say longer form, I'm talking about like 30 plus minutes, because a lot of people just like to get absorbed in something. You know, I don't think that the duration only matters to the degree of, are you keeping their attention? Is it interesting? I mean, you can have a 30-minute video that's just a bore fest, or you can have a 30-minute video that people wish was longer because they're really enjoying it. So again, it is about using the tools available to you to tell the best story with the best pacing that keeps people watching and interested. I don't think there's anything wrong with 30-minute videos if you can crank that out. If I could crank that out, I would. It's very hard to, unless you're doing something like an analysis of a police interrogation, which is mostly just raw footage of the interrogation with some commentary. You know, I think starting out, unless you can pack a lot of value into what you're doing, I would lean towards the shorter side of things, but keep in mind that there is an audience for longer form content. Just be a React Andy streamer. The content makes itself. I don't know who that is. I'll have to look him up. How do you deal with talking? Lucid says, how do you deal with talking in front of camera anxiety? Delicately, cautiously. Here's the thing. I do struggle with like panic attacks. I do get panic attacks, and this is brand new territory for me. I'm not used to having a bigger audience like this. But the thing that I've noticed is that sometimes what makes it scarier and sometimes what makes you spiral is when you're trying to hide it. There can be kind of a freedom in just surrendering to what your experience is and just being honest with people. Like, I'm scared right now. I think I might be having a panic attack. Just being able to admit it, first of all, takes courage, but it also has almost a calming effect, because there's plenty of people that deal with that. And so much of what makes it worse is trying not to show it You don't want people to see that you're freaking out. And that thought is what makes you like spiral. So I think the key to dealing with the anxiety in a situation like this is really just being honest. And so I hope to continue doing that, because I do think that's helped me. And, you know, hiding it just makes it worse. Okay, guys, I can already feel the rasp in my voice. My voice is getting a little bit tired. So I think I'm gonna wrap this up. I wanted to say thank you so much for being here. However you found this channel, it has meant so much to me. Just to connect on a personal level with people. Like, I feel like I have all these new friends now. It feels really good, and I hope you continue to get value from the videos I'm putting out. The next video I'm going to be putting out, and I'm trying for Friday, but I had intended to film last night and got my lights set up, got my camera set up, and then just passed out on my bed. So I'm going to have to film that probably tonight. But I'm aiming for Friday, and it is going to be the very first episode of Awkward Audit. And I will be profiling 3 creators and just kind of delving into what they're already doing really well, and some tips on how to fine-tune some things. So I hope you can get some value from that as well. Okay, guys? Well, thank you for being here. We will do this again, and if there were more people that joined today, and this seems to be a good time and a good day, maybe we'll keep it this way on Mondays. But that's all I got. So I'm going to say, this was so awkward last time. Okay.